What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger, watching my back as always, the Alexis Arguello puppet. We're back with another banger of an episode. You know what we do here, the home of the most amazing and real boxing conversations anywhere on planet Earth. Legends, luminaries, world champions, and fighters on the come up. All coming here to chop it up with your boy, Reckless Rex. Today is no different. Got another great episode with another great fighter who is a rising star. And he will be in here un momento. Very excited to have him on here. We'll have him in here in a minute. Let me do the promotional thing before he gets in here and remind you guys to make sure to like and follow Off the Couch Boxing on Facebook. That's first. There you'll get updates on new episodes, when they're dropping, who will be on them, and any other big boxing news. If it's jumping off in the fight game, it'll be on the Facebook page, keeping you guys in the loop. And, of course, make sure to like, subscribe, smash that notification bell to stay tapped in to this channel. This is where it all goes down. If you're into the boxing thing, we got Off the Couch Boxing. If you're into the music and the arts, flip over to the other playlist and check out Pod Scum. Either way, man, you're getting two killer podcasts on one amazing channel. And what else can I say? I don't know. Go fact check. Go check out the playlist. This is the home of the best boxing content, which is why we are the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of boxing podcast, bar none. As I said, go check out the playlist. Look at the guests we've run down. I will go international. We go everywhere. We run down fighters and people associated with the fight game all over the world, taking it global and having the greatest conversations. We're all over the board with it. It's boxing, but it's life. It's all kinds of stuff. We keep it free form. We keep it loose. We have some laughs. This is what we do here. That's how we get down. And what else? At the time of this episode, it is May 26th, Monday, Memorial Day. My guest is here. We're going to get down to it, man. Let's go. I was about to tell my audience, man, that recently, earlier today, I had to give this young man some spade lessons, but I don't want to, I don't want to toot my own horn, or brag.
You want to come on me, for sure.
Hey, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. Thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it, man.
Likewise. To be honest, Mike Fox is the reason why we on here. I thought you was a spam, and I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, good. I'm glad, though, man. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I know. You can never be too sure nowadays. I've literally been securing interviews with people and have been strung along to the point where I start to think, okay, this doesn't sound like this is kosher. You know what I mean? Because I do two podcasts on my channel. I do a music one too, and I'll start to think, okay, I'm going to quiz this guy on his own band or his own act. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say something random like, all right, like a couple albums ago, who was that guy that played drums on Ella? And then usually they're just gone. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Because they know that you've got them. That you're kind of hip to them. But listen, man, you're on a hell of a streak, man. I was looking on your box track, 6-7 fights in a row.
Yeah, we're trying to do a little something.
Is there any suspicion when you're on a streak like that? Like, do you have any superstitions? Do you do shit the same way? Are you putting on like maybe the same boot or wrapping your hand a certain way or?
No, I'm real religious, so I just pray.
Okay.
And I work harder, smarter, but
yeah.
My path is my path. I just do what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for you, man, I go back to the beginning when I start these things, man. How early did you get a pair of boxing gloves on? How early did you dig in and start doing this?
I actually started when I was about 5, and then I stopped. My dad had went to jail. I stopped. And then I got back into the sport, I think around like 10 or 11 or something like that. So from then on.
Okay. Yeah. And were you watching a lot of boxing? Watching it on TV?
To be honest, no. I just was doing a lot of fighting around the neighborhood.
Okay.
Teammates and things like that. And
careful now. Don't incriminate yourself. Now the past is the past. Yeah. We don't want any indictments coming down or anything, man. Or
Not for sure. But no, that was that. And then I had to stop. I had to choose something that I can fully control. You know what I mean? Like no team sports. I mean, I have a team in boxing, but that ultimately I'm the one in the ring to execute the game plan.
Yeah, team sports can be frustrating, man. I think that the last couple of nights, man, like when I've watched my beloved Knicks, man, not play so much like a team. You know what I mean? Last night they seemed to figure it out, but I mean, it hasn't gone well, man. And there's always a lot of, even when it's not happening outright, that there's dudes that are thinking in their head, that they want to point the finger. Hey, we didn't win because of you,
Cat played good last night. He came.
Yeah, he did. He did. I think the Knicks are playing better on the road. It's odd. I mean, they had those 2 huge comeback victories in the last series against Boston, and then they go to the Garden, and I just don't get it, man. They tuck their tail between their legs, and they just don't, they don't show out at home.
Might be cursed or something. Home.
Maybe it's cursed. Yeah. I mean, Reggie Miller back in the days, man, did a number on us when he was on the Pacers, man, in that building. He was a killer. He was almost as much of a thorn in my side as a Knicks fan as MJ was. Maybe more.
Yeah, about to say probably more. Probably more. Yeah.
And so earlier today, man, when you were going to pull off that 8-bid in spades, did it actually prove to be an 8-bid?
I bid an 8.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you make 8?
I was asking you, did you? No, so that wasn't my hand. I found that on Facebook, and then I wanted to repost that because people be talking trash and saying they can pay. And I'm different with these cards. I'm telling you, like I'm one of a kind. I can't wait to get to the big stage and the big money, so I can get more notoriety than like all the rappers and say I want to play everybody. That's what I can't wait to that. Really.
And when you say play cards, are you specifically talking spades, or are you talking anything anybody wants to deal up? You're down with. So
I came out of the womb with an ace of spade in my hand.
Nice.
And, mom was like, she's gonna be different, So I play all cards, I play all cards.
Yeah. And so what is the and so when you're getting into boxing at a young age, are you looking at any guys, like I know you say you weren't watching a lot of it, but did you have any of those like sports heroes, those guys that you looked up to, wanted to emulate maybe?
A little bit of Ray Leonard because I was at a gym, so I kind of was, I ain't gonna say forced, but when you're at his gym and you hear all the stories and he's a legend and personality, smile, he had endorsements and I started looking. But Ali was my favorite fighter of all time, and then growing up in the DMV area, it's a lot of great fighters. So
no doubt.
I had a lot of, I started some of them are actually my fan. Like my actually favorite fighter from this area is a guy named Mike Reed. He's trying to come back now, I think, but he was a bad boy,
Yeah, well, you're representing Maryland, though, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I mean, come on, man. Tank's out of Maryland.
For sure, that's my guy. Yeah. Lamont was like family to me, So
yeah. And so interesting that you brought that up, man. You got 2 guys, man, whose names just came out of our mouths. Well, how did you see that fight shaking out when Tank and Lamont did it the first time?
I thought that Lamont pulled it off, especially if they should have scored that knockdown as a knockdown.
Yeah.
And do that in boxing. We know that. And that was a hell of a fight, though. They got to do it again.
Yeah.
I'll pull it off.
And now, do you think, man? I mean, obviously, we always hear all the time. There's an A side and a B side in boxing, man. Obviously, Tank makes the money, man. He gets the views or whatever, man. You think if that's the opposite way, and Lamont takes that knee, that maybe it is scored a knockdown?
1,000%. I think it's a lot of politics in boxing.
Sure.
Tank is the cash cow. He picks the cheeks in the seats, no matter where he's at. So
no doubt.
I mean, unfortunately, I understand it, but it sucks for Lamont. But on the other hand, Lamont has gotten a lot more notoriety, fame, and people want this the fight people want to see now. You know what I mean? So you got to look at the good and everything, the silver lining in the end. So.
Now, from a fan standpoint, man, I know we talked about some of your favorite fighters from the past. Who are some guys you enjoy watching that are doing it right now?
Tank, Lamont. I like Michael. I ain't saying Michael Fox because I'm from the area, but he puts on a hell of a boxing performance.
I know.
Those who appreciate the actual sport of boxing.
That's the professor, man.
Professor. I like Canelo because you just don't never know what you're gonna get. Like if you're gonna stop him, like is he slowing down? But he's so smart to me, and I feel like he be setting traps and things like that. Terrence Crawford is also a bad boy. He fight from both stances. And Jerron Ennis, I like to watch Jerron Ennis too. So it does look
like now we are going to see we are going to see Bud and Canelo at the end of the year, man. How do you see that fight shaking out?
I think there is weight classes for a reason.
Yeah.
I've recently seen a picture that Bud is walking around like 186 though. So I was like, whoa, he's putting on some weight. And I think people was comparing his last step up at 154. What is it? I can't say the name.
Madrimov.
Yeah. But I don't think Canelo's going to do a lot of that moving in and out, that European style and all. I don't think he's going to do a lot of that. I think Canelo's going to, he's still Canelo and he's still 168. He's been comfortable there for a minute now.
We
got to see when Terrence take one of them punches. But I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting fight. I think Terrence have the skills to beat him.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Also, on the other hand, there's also weight classes for a reason, though.
Now, where do you feel like you are, man? Because, it's always been debated in the past, man. I've been asking this question a lot lately, man. You're currently 31 years old. Where do you feel like as an athlete you are in terms of your prime? Always in the past, prime always used to be equated with a guy being young. Maybe physically your body feels more in prime when you're in your early 20s, but you do start connecting a lot of the dots up here when you're older, and that can make you a dangerous person too, man. Like, where do you feel like you are in terms of right now as an athlete at 31 years old in terms of your prime?
You literally just kind of took the words out of my mouth. Like, when you're younger, they say your prime years, but honestly, my mentality wasn't the best when I was young in a lot of areas of my life. I feel like now, I'm working probably just as hard or harder. I'm smarter. I'm more confident. I know I guess I got that the grown man punch for sure now. And as you know, my circles, my box circles, where I wanted to be. I feel like God has everything working in my life right when it's supposed to happen. I don't think I was ready for the things that he's going to give me back then,
And now you are currently fighting at welterweight. Do you foresee that changing at any time? Are you interested in exploring other weight classes, or will welterweight be home for a while?
Welterweight is home for a while. To be honest, I was campaigning at 140 for a long time in my mind, but I didn't have to make 140 since 2022 when I fought for the WBA and ABA gold.
Yeah.
And I was always thinking if I had to make it, I can make it, but everybody can say that until it's that cut week, you know what I mean? So and I'm real strong at 147. Could I make 140? Possibly, you know what I'm saying? It would have to be very strategic. But the suffering that fighters go through on cut week is rough. That's the make or break for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. And now you've already fought 2 times in 2025, man. How busy would you like to be in 2025? Like, if you had your way, how many more times would you like to fight this year?
God willing, I'm fighting 2 more. I already got
2 more already.
Yeah. I got 2 more coming more.
Okay.
Yeah, God willing, I'm fighting August. We're working on something in August and something in December. I'm I'm a promoter as well, so I'm throwing another show in December. So that's God willing, that's going to happen. And then I'm fighting one more time, like I said. Hopefully, it might be in August.
And do you have any details at all on August as far as like a date, an opponent, anything? Because that would be the next one up.
Nothing. We're working on the promoter. We're back and forth. We're going to see. All I know is I just won a belt on my last fight.
Yep.
So each time I have to defend it. That'll put me in the top. Should put in the top 5, top 10, and then hopefully I become somebody's mandatory by 2026.
Yeah.
2026.
And so 18 wins, 11 have come by way of knockout. For people that don't know like what you do, obviously they would look at that and they'd say, all right, he's knocked out more people than he's had to go to the cards. But how would you describe your style? I mean, you don't want to be quick to get the label of a knockout artist, man. Like, would you consider yourself more of a technical boxer puncher? Like, for people that don't know your style, how would you describe it?
I think boxer puncher, if you will. Honestly, to be honest, I think I am unique because 1, I can fight from both stances.
Yeah.
And 2, my best me is when I'm boxing. Like, if I'm like moving around the ring. Like, if you put my power in Michael Fox, he'd be a crazy, be a unstoppable force. But like, I can move, probably not just as good, but I'm really athletic. I've been athletic my entire life. I can move and slick. I'm a little slicker.
Yeah.
And if I make you miss, how he make you will make you like the angles that he get, and I'm hitting you. I'm punching you off of that. That's rough for you. So I can adapt. Like my last fight, I actually was prepared to box. I thought that my plan, our plan was it's 10 rounds. I was gonna box him. He box him the first couple of rounds, move a lot, jab, break him down, download information. Even a podcast I was on before, like the week before, was telling me how he just went distance with some guy named Anthony Young, who's like 23, I think 2 or 3. And right before I put my gloves on, literally the guy walked to the back and was like, man, he's a little wild. I've seen him fight. Be careful. So I'm thinking like, he's going to be coming out, aggressive. But
right,
again, I hit him with a jab. I seen him, like blink. And I said, "Oh, it's going to be a long."
I got him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Not a sack a punch. So I knew that once he started doing like that and backing up, I knew that was going to be rough.
Is it ever in the back of your mind, maybe, because we do still see it a lot in the sport, and I've been pretty critical of it, even on episodes here, man. But you get worried when you are going to go to the cards, because unfortunately we do still see a lot of crappy judging and bad decisions, and it can change the trajectory of your career. You could be coasting along nicely, like you're on a 6-fight win streak right now, and then suddenly, man, it affects you going forward financially. World title shots, all that kind of stuff, man. Is it something that weighs on a guy in your position who's trying to make his way up there, and how do you deal with it if it does?
Yeah and no. I would say no, more of no, because I'm usually, sad to say this, I'm usually fighting on the A side,
right,
at the B side. So
yeah.
You might get a hometown. I haven't got one. Haven't had to get one yet, like a hometown decision, because I've been winning. I've been winning literally, but I don't really worry about that. I feel like that I'm gonna do enough to, win. And like you said, if I don't put it in the judge's hands, then I ain't gotta worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do be wanting to clip whoever in front of me. And I'm a big ticket seller, real big. So like I want to, give the fans a little show.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they would appreciate that, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to get that. Honestly, the last fight, I was trying to go a little longer I really wanted to expose. I wanted to beat him up really bad. It got a little personal. Well, not him. His manager was really a thorn in my side the entire week. So I was trying to really work out. But, I'm glad I got him out of there. Whatever.
Now, you do come across, I'm glad you brought that up. You do come across as a pretty gregarious, affable guy. Are people able to get you, are you pretty unflappable, man? Or like, will you engage in trash talk? And can guys make it personal with you? Or do you always just stay zeroed in on its business?
I was trying to stay focused. But to be honest, I've been trash talking my entire life. I kind of calmed down a little bit in boxing, if you will. But I trash talk in a more competitive way. I don't really be disrespectful, like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't talk about the fact, like I don't go above, because I demand respect.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna talk a little more this coming, because people like that. People want to see you talk, and people want to,
you look at it as you look at it as kind of like, in a way, like a roundabout way, almost like a marketing tool, like selling a fight, selling yourself.
You have to. You're 100%.
You have to.
You have to talk. It's a lot of fighters in this area. I ain't gonna say their names to be cool, but some of them are like fight real good, but they don't talk trash. They don't talk. They like real respect, or like they humble, or when they do say something, it's not the right thing. So having the right marketing team and knowing when to say, what to say, when to say it, how to say it, all that matters. So for example, this is, you kind of just said this. The guy Anthony Young, I guess I don't even know who he is, but the podcast I was on was a pretty big podcast. It had like 1,000 views. I forgot, it's called Boxing Source or something like that.
Yeah.
They was kind of like implying something like, they went the distance, and I was basically saying like I could punch, and he was like, do you punch harder than Anthony Young? And I'm like, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I know I can punch. So, but I should have been like, yeah, I punch harder. Yeah. Smoke, he can get some too. Like I don't, it's just little things like that. Well, I'm just
right.
But it's fine. You just live and you learn.
And now, where do you feel like you are on the timeline? And I don't know if you've discussed this with your team or not, man, but, obviously we do see guys, like I'm 52 years old. I remember a time when to get a world title shot, you had to have a pretty decent resume. You really had to work your way there. Now we see guys with less fights, being in a title picture. I've had Keyshawn Davis on. I mean, he's 13 fights into his career. He's already got a WBO title. You're 18-2. Well, what's the timeline like where you feel like you'll be in that mix? Can we expect it 2026? I mean, like, when do you feel like you're going to be throwing your hat into the world title picture?
2026. So we already got a plan. My team now, we've been real intentional, and the plan is, now that I know how I'm a boxer, promoter, manage a little bit of people. Yeah. So now I know how this thing really works as far as going into these conventions, WBA and stating your case of why you should be ranked in the top. Me having one tour of their belts, it should be fairly easy, especially once I defend it twice, God willing, this year.
Yeah.
2026, we should be getting those bigger fights. Like I want to fight actually in London, England, like over there with them, like them. They be selling the marinas out. I want to go. I don't want to stay here. I want to fight.
I know.
I have to me, I feel like my talent, my personality. I feel like I'm a handsome young man. I feel like I can appeal to a lot of different people. So let's take advantage of it. You know,
and plus, British fight fans are the fucking best, man. The absolute best. I mean, look, man, they packed the stadium last month, 65,000 people to watch Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. Not even a belt on the line. They just show up just to watch a great fight.
Packed. I mean, that was amazing. That was an amazing show.
A great undercard, man. Just all British, man. You know what I mean? Those guys are tough, man, and like the fans are just rabid.
I love them. Radical, nice. They love boxing.
Yeah. Now we're about at the halfway point of 2025 from a fan standpoint. Are there any fights that have stood out? Are there any fights that are coming up on the calendar, man, that you know about that you're particularly looking forward to?
Yeah, Lamont Roach and Tank happened. You know, that was the fight. You know, two local guys, and like I told everybody, that fight was, I don't know who they had. They had Lamont effed up. You know, F word up. Like I don't know who they thought he was. You know, I'm telling everybody what to bet, how to bet. I'm telling them he's not getting knocked out, and I bet to win, but of course he didn't get the win.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. Actually, I want to see. I love Tater Plant. That's one of my favorite fighters. So this week
he's got one coming up next weekend.
This week, he fighting him and Charlo, and then Thomas Lamana is fighting Charlo.
I've had Cornflake on many a time. He's a friend of the show. Yeah.
For sure. I won my first belt on his cards. Or, so I'm looking for this weekend. I'm looking forward to Canelo. I want to go to that fight. So, and of course the rematch of Lamont and Tank.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and Bud is one of those kind of guys, man. He really is a special talent, dude. If anybody in boxing is going to pull it off, he'd be the guy to do it.
Fight both stance, long arms, got the dog heart. I'm just saying it's just weight classes, but we'll see.
So for a welterweight, man, they've got you listed at 5'11". That's pretty tall for a welterweight.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not 6'4", not like that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm pretty tall. I'm taller than most.
And I know I asked you the weight class question before, but in your career, amateur, professional, or otherwise, have you been anywhere else other than welterweight, or has that pretty much always been home?
I have to say this proper. I was a little person all the way up until my sophomore year in college. So I was like 15 and 16 years old, fighting 60 pounds. Fighting, I had to fight a lot of Spanish people if I have to get to fight, like a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
I fought the Olympic trials at 106, and I was a freshman in college. So I graduated high school. I was like 5'5". I was not 100 pounds, probably like 80 pounds with all my clothes on. And then I got a little taller, thank God, got a little more weight. I was drinking like muscle milks and stuff. And then I got to like 106 for the Olympic trials. I made the Olympic trials. Went through the USAs and all that. And then that same summer, I got to this height. So, I went from there to, most people who haven't seen me so long can't believe how tall I am and how much weight I put on and all that. Because I was really little growing up,
Now, see, I deal with that now. I actually am almost 6'4", and I'll have people come up to me all the time and say, wow, you're a big guy. Or they'll just refer to me, hey, what's up, big guy? But then I look at other guys, man, I would be a dwarf standing next to a LeBron James. I don't feel like, I feel like maybe walking around in the regular world of my community, I'm a big guy, but I don't feel like, when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't think wow, I'm a gigantic guy.
I think you're actually tall. Cause I think the average height for a male in the world, I think is 5'7". Last time I checked, I'm not mistaken.
Jesus.
Wow. So you're tall. You're.
But then I feel like in the NBA, I wouldn't even be. I'd be being dwarfed by today's point guards.
Steph Curry, they say is 6 feet. Really, and the internet gives a little height. So you'll be a nice 1 or 2. You'll be a good solid 2. Might be 3.
Yeah, they always list those guys. I think they fudge those guys' numbers a little bit, though.
Not 6'1". He's not 6 foot. I stood next to him, MGM. I'm like, this guy is my height.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite player. Yeah.
And so, like, was there ever, because you mentioned being like an athletic guy your whole life, man, was it always going to be segueing into boxing, man, or were any other sports, at all on the radar? Like, I know you're talking about being small. Obviously, man, you probably weren't getting up and jamming a basketball or nothing like that or whatever. But hey, we saw Muggsy Bogues at 5'3" have a pretty damn good career. Spud Webb.
I was a dog in all sports. Like,
Yeah.
football was my thing. I played basketball. Allen Iverson, I had all the handles.
Yeah.
I was going to if I was just size that I am growing up, like in high school, I'd have played safety. I was safety. I was an animal.
Yeah.
But God knew my path, so He didn't make me grow till after high school. But I played everything the Black community had to offer. You know, I had played baseball. I ran track. I played golf, soccer, and wrestled. But you know, I don't like saying that I can't do something. I feel like I'm God-given ability, athletic ability, and I said I'm going to use that. But football was my thing. Basketball was my thing. Was my favorite player, Allen Iverson, till this day, the best to ever do it. And
Allen was not a tall guy either.
No, he's 6 feet. If that.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, wow. You know, in and out. That was my guy. But football was my thing, though, for sure.
And now, where does the it's a badass nickname. It probably doesn't need any explaining, but I like to dig into the origins, man. I mean, you've already got like a name that's fucking tailor-made. I mean, just having the last name Outlaw is a blessing, a fucking blessing. I mean, I'm sorry, man. Excuse my French, but it is. But where does SharpShooter come from, though, man? Is it just you're sitting around? Does somebody dub you that? Like, tell me the backstory of SharpShooter.
Yeah, so it came in high school. One of my guys, like Tyreek, he said something like, you sharpshooter. And then I was like playing basketball, I think open gym. And to be honest, I was sharp at everything I did. Like, I played cards, like spades, or I graduated high school, top of my class. I always wanted to excel in anything I did. So he said, I think he called me sharpshooter one day, and then that was my name. But to be honest, I didn't use that until maybe fight 2 or 3 or 4. I was money man at first, and then I played though. So I came out of my pro debut as money man outlaw. And I was like, nah, I'm going to sharpshooter is it. That's the thing.
Now, I had Keyshawn Davis on here, man, and at the time, I had my son was still co-hosting with me. He's since peeled back because he's got small kids. It gets hard for him to come on here and do the episodes. But we really wanted to, and then we kind of lost our nerve. But I really would like to see Keyshawn Davis be announced as Keyshawn Big Business Davis. He's not going to change from the businessman, but we just thought Big Business sounded good.
Big business sounds real sweet. That's big business is that's more marketable.
It's more marketable. It's more marketable. Keyshawn, if you circle back, man, around, man, and you catch this episode, just give it some thought. Rattle it around a little bit. That's all. You know?
You're still in the business family. Straight up.
And now yours really flows though, man. Greg SharpShooter Outlaw has a nice flow to it.
You can't, first of all, like you said, Outlaw is a hell of a last name.
Yeah.
I ask often, is that your real last name? And I'm like, I was born with it.
There was a basketball player in the NBA with that last name. And I think his name might have been Greg.
It's Greg Outlaw, Travis Outlaw. It was 2.
Yeah.
So
it can really be I mean, come on, people. Jesus, it can't be a last name. I mean, come on. There was also a Daryl Strawberry. I mean, people used to think, is that really his last name? I mean, like, but it was.
No, it's true. I think I remember him too.
Yeah. And now you make a great point, man. Like about like you talked about like talk to me a little bit about your life after. Have you given much thought into what life after in-ring boxing looks like? Do you feel like you're somebody that'll always keep a foot in the sport? Like some guys will segue into, you made mention about, promoting and matchmaking and or possibly like, maybe being a trainer. You see a lot of guys and their boxing career, but they got that passion. They need to stay in it. Then some guys do make a clean break and maybe they go off and explore other ventures. Where do you think life after boxing would look like for you?
Honestly, I want to create generational wealth. So I think I'm going to have my foot into everything. Or my toe into this, toe into that. Boxing is my passion. So I think I'm going to still promote. I might manage, and I'm not going to train. I can't give the time stuff to do that. But I might commentate a few fights, do some commentary, something like that, maybe. But I want to act. I honestly want to act, be an actor, and I want to do a lot of real estate. To be honest, I put a lot of work into this sport, as you know, it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and sacrifice.
Yeah.
To do this. So I think I want to this next chapter in my life create so much money in the ring. Will use my money I make in the ring to get opportunity to create and build wealth outside of the ring, and really once I retire, enjoy the fruits of my labor, and just flow, this flow how I want to flow.
And let me also say, man, getting back to your previous point about the movies, you should have been tapped to play somebody in the Bob Marley Family.
Come on, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to call him about that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Why not? My head goes all the way down.
And if anybody out there, and I know we just saw the Marley movie made, within the last year or two, man, but I'm sure we're not done seeing, movies about this great guy. You know what I mean? Like, he was obviously, a supreme talent. He stood for a lot of stuff outside the ring. There's a lot of mystery surrounding his early death. I mean, like, there's still stuff you can dive into. And plus, the Sons have had great careers. You can play Ziggy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to say that. Exactly. Yeah, let me use somebody. I can do that. Come on. Yeah. Let me get a shot at that. Come on.
Is acting really like a passion though? And I mean, have you had acting training, or is just something you feel like, hey, like this will come naturally to me because of who I am?
Both. So I actually signed up for. I had a little bit of training, but nothing major. I signed up for this thing called Taylor Casting, and it's supposed to like give you different roles you can do, be like extras in the DMV
right.
area. But as you can imagine, boxing kind of takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Those part-time, boxers. I'm in the gym 24/7.
You can't half step with boxing. Yeah, so, you really
can't. Especially at the level I'm trying to get to, and now I'm fighting that now. So, I can't afford to, half-ass it.
Now, we've seen guys on certain cards, man, like we saw it happen back in February, man, like where we saw that Josh Padley kid step in on very short notice against Shakur Stevenson. He held his own for 9 rounds, and he got a nice payday, and it really changed his life. And then we saw it on that same card kind of go disastrous for Martin McCauley trying to step in against Joseph Parker. What's too short a notice, man? What's the shortest you've ever taken a fight on, man? And what's the shortest that you wouldn't go beyond?
It depends. So it honestly depends on my travel if I'm like out of the country. But like I said, so Michael Fox's dad was my trainer. So
yeah.
So our mantra back then was we train for opportunities and not events.
Right.
So like a lot of Mike Fox's fights were, besides the last couple he just had, a lot of his ones in the previous years have been last minute calls, like replacements. We in the gym all year round. Like, as long as I'm healthy, I be having like little, I don't like to say little hurts, injuries in here and there. I'm in the gym. Actually, they think I'm in the gym too much. Like after my last fight, I was in the gym. I was just doing like Stairmaster for 30 minutes, but I'm in the gym doing something. So, to answer your question, I think I might could do a 2-week or 3-weeker, something like that. I'm always sparring. I'm training. It's just my weight. One of the things will be affected is that I had to like maybe bump up the weight a little bit because sometimes I like to eat a lot of snacks.
Are you somebody that stays pretty close to your fighting weight though?
Yeah, fairly.
Yeah.
If I'm not, so I'm gonna tell you the week after the fight though.
Yeah.
This last one I did good, but in the past I would blow up because
you're making up for some lost eating.
I just had the worst week of my life prior of cutting weight, can't eat, suffering. So
right.
I'm on Instagram looking at every food blogger and saving all these. I'm going this place. I'm going to this place in New York. I'm going to this place here, and so.
Now, if you have to make weight for a fight, man, and the fight is over, it's done, it's in the books, man. Like, what is the immediate go-to food? Is there one?
No, so because we have a system we go to, I don't even eat my first meal until maybe 3 hours later or more. I got like drink these like hydration. So like Andre Ward said is one of his podcasts. A lot of people go wrong with that because they're so hungry they think you just eat some food, but your brain needs H2O. You need some water, you need some oxygen. You need the things your body needs, protein. Like different shakes and things like that. Like I don't eat no meal yet. Like
that's smart. That sounds smart. I don't know if I don't know the science behind it, man. But if Andre Ward is fucking saying it, there's got to be something to it. It makes sense to me.
A lot of deaths and stuff happen from dehydration and things like that. You need to get them fluids in your body. Get them fluids.
That's interesting. That makes sense to me. I work like my day job. I work in healthcare as a nurse. That makes sense to me, though. That makes sense.
Health. Yeah, I mean, hydration. Hydration.
It's huge.
You need to get that hydration, the fluids in your body, get them back, and then you get your meal. So, but my go-to is healthy because I don't like going too crazy. I get some rice, for the carbs and things like that, and I might get some type of pasta, for lasagna or pasta, red sauce, spaghetti, something like that.
And so what's usually like your kind of like your kryptonite though, man? Like when you do pack on weight, like what's the freaking food? Is that usually what it is? Pasta? You got a sweet tooth?
No, it's about to say there's pastries. So
pastries,
cakes and cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I feel like having to explain that though, and squirming while you explain it is not even necessary because I feel like that's probably everybody's kryptonite. Who the hell's gonna turn down a nice fucking pastry or a donut or a piece of cake? You know what I mean? Like nobody. The answer is nobody.
Nobody. It's true, but I kind of go to the extreme. Like I last week, I probably went to this place called Fresh Market every day and got a 8-pack of cookie almost every day.
Yeah.
But like I'm on a fast though. Like I'm on a water fast today to Wednesday. Like just because I'm like I like to challenge myself and I need to know I have some discipline with this thing. So I am on a fast right now.
And so like when you're on a fast, man, you seem like you're in a fantastic mood right now, man. But do people need to be like weary, man? Like do you get a little snappy, man? Do you get headaches? Do you get, what I mean? Like how do you fight through? As obviously you're staying hydrated or whatever, man. But but depriving yourself of food could maybe put people on edge a little.
For sure, especially cut. So this is like my first time really fasting if I'm not fighting. Like, cause I fast enough on cut week, so I'm not on it. But I'm spiritual, so I want to fast for my body. Reset my body and get some control under what I'm eating. So I think I'm doing all water, but I might add this little probiotic drink to just for my gut health. But I'm good. I'm snappy on fight week. My mom, everybody know, leave me. Don't talk to me unless you really need to talk to me.
Yeah.
It's a little rough, you know what I mean? I've gotten a lot better, honestly, because my cutting weight has got easier because I am a lot more disciplined with my eating leading up to the fight.
Right.
Especially because I'm a little older now, and then I'm not in my 20s no more, so I have to make sure I'm putting the right foods in my body, So I'm not like right now, I'm choosing to do this, and I know I put that in my mind that I'm signing up for this, so I don't have to I'm fine. I can deal with this, because now
as I mentioned, you are on a nice little streak right now, man. So 6-7 fights ago, when you do take an L, man, how are you a different fighter now, man? Like, what's the process been like from that fight to here? How have you grown as a fighter? What stuff have maybe you worked on? You feel like you've taken to the next level, man? Like, what's changed?
So the only thing that's changed is I got a new. I don't like this. I just got my corner. I feel like my corner is right where it should be now, and I feel like I know. I don't know why I took that L, but God makes no mistakes. So my pastor, one thing he kind of said to me was, and he says to me now before every fight, is do your job. And it was like you were beating the brakes off of him. You would easily fight, won the fight, but I didn't do my job, and God won't allow you to be great if you're not doing your job. So that's basically it. It ain't nothing I changed. It ain't really nothing. I'm doing my job. I don't care what they saying outside the ring. I don't care about an ugly win. I'll take an ugly win and a pretty loss. You know what I mean? I just do my job. I'm in the ring with me and you. Forget everybody else. What they're going on, lock in, listen to your corner, tunnel vision, and just do my job. I think
that's a good way to look at it and a healthy way to look at it, man, because like we all have those days, man, where we punch in, man, and we just don't have the best day at work. It's probably put under the magnifying glass a little more when you're an athlete, because when you drop the ball in the end zone, in week 16, or you get dropped in a fight, or you get caught looking and you're the third out in a baseball game or something, man. That's all over the place, man. You know what I mean? It's not like if we go into just the regular 9 to 5 guy goes in and just has a shitty day at work,
For sure, it is magnified times 10 when you're in the ring. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
or any sport that when fans are cheering or depending on you, especially when there's gambling involved. Don't get stuff like that. That makes it worse. You know what I mean? So
now, how calculated about your career are you? Because you seem like a very well thought out guy. Have you given thought to, like, you know, I know I talked about life after boxing, but have you thought about a definitive, like, I'm not going to fight more than X amount of fights, or I'm not going to fight, I don't want to be doing this past this age, or are you still kind of playing it by ear?
Yeah. So to be honest, I said that as I want to leave the game with all of my faculties still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My body intact. It's hard, you know, because we put our bodies through so much, but the sooner the better, to be honest. But if I could be like Floyd and get my notoriety that big where the world wants to see me, and I just like retire the game and fight John Gotti in the expedition for $1 million for $11 million or $3, you know, I'll do stuff like that. Like, I don't. People probably don't like it in the sport. Some people don't, but like he's feeding his, like, why? If it was another guy, not Floyd, you know, why not? So
with that being said, man, I'll segue into this question. So we're talking about Floyd fighting exhibitions. Where do you stand on a guy like Jake Paul in the events that he puts on? Like, do you look at him like, I know he's trying to be perceived as a fighter, live like a fighter, train like a fighter. People still scrutinize the resume a bit. And I don't know if fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is necessarily going to help that or add fuel to that. But do you look at him now and say, hey, I see a fighter there? Or has he not earned that yet?
He's a fighter now. To be honest, it was a double-edged sword with that. I was kind of like, of course, you got like in the beginning, you're a little bitter because like you feel like people like me who's been doing this my entire life, and
you're grinding. You're like, where's my $20 million payday?
Guy like this come in and just, you know, had these big paydays and do this. But on the other hand, when the sport was dying a little bit, maybe, possibly, he brought life, a little bit of life to it. He brought a new set of eyes because he has them streaming views. So he brought a lot more fans, like I said, a new set of eyes. And so you got to take, and I heard he pays very well if you're on the undercard. Like, Katie, I heard him, they got the biggest paydays of their life. So you can't be mad at what he's doing, you know. You got to just get with it, you know.
Yeah, and he's getting the women paid too. He's getting the women fighters paid too.
I heard Serrano got the biggest payday of their lives. You know?
Yeah, and so 2026, you really feel like, you know, I mean, you'll be poised. You'll have a few more fights under your belt at that point, man. So you really feel like you'll be right there on the precipice of world title contention.
100%. I feel like I've been doing this my entire life. So it's a guy that is a motivational speaker. I forgot his name, but he said, you need 3 things to be successful. You need the mindset, you need the skill set, and you need the opportunity. And once you get the opportunity, you just got to take advantage. You know, the skill set, I've been had it my entire life. I've been fighting the best of the best. You know, I've never ducked those amateur, like my whole career. I've fought some of the top guys in boxing now. And then mindset, you just got to be a lot of these guys, they just confident. You got to just make sure you're confident with whoever in front of you and just know that you can do this. And then the opportunity, I have no doubt about that I will get that. So when that opportunity comes, I'll just take advantage. That's what I plan on doing.
So if someone were to say to Greg Outlaw right now, man, okay, man, here's these guys. They all have a belt at welterweight right now, man. Who would you feel like would be the guy that would be in your crosshairs? Like, I know Rolly in that Ryan fight, he picked up the WBA. I think Boots has a title there. Mario Barrios is about to defend his against Manny Pacquiao, surprisingly. I mean, is there anybody there stylistically that you feel like you match up with? Like, if you had to zero in on one right now?
I like Barrios. I mean, all of them, but Barrios is one, Rolly, but Barrios to me is like he got good fundamentals and things like that, you know, but I feel as though and let me not say it, because fundamentals like Andre Ward, that wins you the fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fundamentals in any sport wins you the sport, you know what I mean? But
absolutely.
He's not no Andre Ward like that. No, so I feel like the Mexican style, I feel like he's very beatable. So for sure.
Now, what did you think about that Times Square card? That was obviously an unprecedented event. Turki Al-Sheikh dropping a ring in the middle of Times Square, man. But then the fights looked great on paper, but it really wound up taking a lot of backlash. It was boring.
I wonder how you feel being a New Yorker. I was actually there, and a lot of new people just from New York was like they didn't appreciate that. But as far as the fights go, they wasn't
lackluster at best.
Yeah, they wasn't really hyped up to it. I think Teofimo looked damn good.
Yeah, he looked the sharpest out of anybody on the card, definitely.
Yeah, he looked damn good. He's sharp. He looked sharp. And Robley actually looked okay too. He held that phone the whole entire time.
Yeah,
he came with a game plan. He was not, I lost money from that fight, to be honest. But yeah, it wasn't a good. Even the Canelo, I didn't like that fight.
Now, where do you stand on the theory of like Devin Haney was criticized, man, in that fight? I mean, he's never really been one to really get in there and really mix up and have like epic battles, man, and go toe to toe with a guy. It's not his thing or whatever. But he really was scrutinized a lot in that particular fight against Jose Ramirez, man. For really moving a lot. He took a lot of criticism for that. Do you buy into that theory of because of the Ryan Garcia fight, there could be PTSD involved?
He had some lingering effects, you know what I mean? That was. Let me say, Devin Haney showed a lot of heart and will in that fight, and he was in some shape to get up from them punches, and he tried to win. It wasn't like he laid down.
Right.
Firstly, but that was a bad beating. That took a beating. You know what I mean? Could have been Ryan on the stuff, so you don't know. But credit to Devin Haney. Jose Ramirez is not a bad opponent. He came and took a good guy that was a live dog who beat my guy Mike Reed back in the day when Mike Reed was signed at Top Rank. So he can fight, So Devin, hats off to him. But Devin Haney is a boxer. He probably did a little too much movement, maybe, but he got the win. That's all that matters.
Right. At the end of the day,
we see the next fight. He was like a year layoff, I think, when they fought, and on top of he got beat, like I said, pretty bad, and he got to hear all the stuff with the fans, and of course, a lot of that's probably in his mind, stuff like that. But he won.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what really matters. Yeah, you're right about that.
He won.
Yeah.
On to the next.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. If it's not acting, man, I certainly don't want to put out there that I need more boxing podcast competition. But you would be a natural, though.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Not that 80 million people aren't out there podcasting nowadays. Everybody with a camera and a microphone and a computer is a podcaster nowadays. So it's very hard to stand out sometimes, but
for sure, it's a lot.
It's not easy. It's
a whole lot.
Everybody and their brother's podcasting. So if Greg Outlaw were to put together, I'm going to try to before I let you out of here, man. Your Mount Rushmore of all time boxers, man. Who would be the four faces up there for you?
Ooh, you got to put Floyd. You got to Muhammad Ali.
And this is yours, of course. So this is subjective to you. Yeah.
It's mine. Floyd, you have to. Muhammad Ali. And I would say Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay.
I like that, man. A young guy going back into history, man, and giving a nod to the OGs. I like that, though.
You got to be Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
And I'm from a gym, Sugar Ray Leonard. I can't not put Sugar.
Yeah, you gotta have the two Sugars on there. I feel like that's a good call too, man. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard was insanely amazing, man. And you know what? I'll tell you what's crazy. Because I do this podcast, I try to stay tapped into a lot of the various groups and Facebook pages on there, man. And I'll tell you what, that 1987 fight between him and Hagler is still a dividing and polarizing fight that people debate to this day.
For sure, like that was. A lot of people still say Hagler won. I mean, Sugar Ray is smart. He ran the punches off at the end. He did. He
knew how to steal rounds. He knew how to rock. Yeah.
Stealing rounds at the end. And
I've been encouraged to watch it back many times, and I always get 115, 113 for Ray. I just do.
I got to watch it again.
I just do. But I'll tell you what, man, like when I was promoting the podcast and everything, me and my son would just throw little things up there. And then we tag, like a link to our channel. And we would just throw conversational stuff up here, man. So we would just throw that up there, man. A picture of the fight poster and be like, hey, like this fight is, happened almost 40 years ago, man, to the day. What do people still think? Boom. Suddenly thousands and thousands of comments, man. It's still hotly contested and people still feel they have an opinion on it.
That was a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
That was
it's a divider.
Man, Sugar Ray Leonard round 9. He said that was his man. That was some dog. That was because Marvin Hagler. I watched him train. He was one of a kind.
I know, just running through the streets, yelling war, and he was intense. He was an intense guy. Yeah.
And Cape Cod and putting himself through like the like isolating himself, and
he was one of those guys that would take like camp seriously. Like, yeah, no wife, no kids, no visits, no family, no nothing, man. He was old school, dude. Like, I'm going into seclusion. I'm about to do battle with another guy, man. To leave me alone. Yeah.
War.
Yeah. Going to war. Yeah. And he was so disenfranchised out, after that he was done. He never fought again after that Leonard fight.
That was it.
Yeah, he moved over to Europe. I had his son James on here, man, when we first did the podcast, and just trying to get in his head of like, what was it like or whatever. Dude, he just bounced.
That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. I mean,
but he took the family with him though. He didn't leave them, right?
I don't think. Yeah, I think he took the family, but he was just like almost like it was cathartic for him, just to not only get away from boxing, but just to just relocate, like get as far away from like the where it all went down.
Yeah, he didn't want no parts of it, huh?
Yeah.
It was
traumatized. Yeah.
He couldn't believe it. Yeah, I feel him. It's rough. You put your all into this stuff, and then
I know.
You get, it's rough. It's rough. Sugar Leonard with the face. It's hard to beat him. He was the guy, the golden child.
Well, he was one of those guys, man, like you're talking about yourself, you know what I mean? Like, obviously very charismatic, a good-looking guy, you know what I mean? Like, had all the physical tools and all the gifts and everything, man, you know what I mean? Like,
it's hard. It's gonna be rough. That was a rough one for him.
I'm not saying go turn yourself into Sugar Greg Outlaw by any means. You know what I mean? Like, hey, listen, man. First of all, man, I want to thank you for coming on here and doing this, man. I'm glad I ran you down to do this, man. I've done the 230 some odd episodes, man, but this one was really fun, man. Really.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really
Yeah. I appreciate you doing it, man. We're in touch now, dude. So like when something's jumping off or popping off and you got some news or a fight or something, man, come back on here. We'll do it again.
For sure. As soon as I know, hopefully next time I might be in Florida, we can do it out. I can, have it out there, and we can.
Yeah, please do it.
Yes,
and this platform that I use, man, is capable of having like multiple people in here, man. So maybe we'll get you and Mike, and we'll get a few of you guys in here, man.
Yeah,
we'll
that's quality. Yeah, I know that. That's quality. Yeah, Mike's that's my family. So
he was a great guest too, man. Very insightful guy too, man. I can see why he's commentating and why people want to hear his views on the sport. He's the professor for a reason.
Listen, last time when we all got a group chat still, me, his dad, and his brother.
Yeah.
So whenever we want a boxing question or like an answer to it, we ask the question and then put up in parentheses, Mike. Mike, tell us the answer, Mike. We know Mike know for sure. That's one thing the professional's gonna know. He knows his boxing.
Yeah, he does.
Mike, help us out.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Greg. Really, man. This was a lot of fun, man. Thank you. I'll probably have the episode up sometime tomorrow. I'll send you the link. You can share it around on your socials or whatever, man.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. A lot of fun, man. Thanks, buddy.
Yes,
we'll talk again, man. Thanks. Later, bro. There he goes, folks. Greg SharpShooter Outlaw, 18-2, 11 knockouts, man. Fighting at welterweight, doing big things, and only getting bigger, man. As he said, man, 2026, man, going to work himself into that world title picture. And, I mean, come on, man. Sky's the limit for a guy like that, man. Again, I've said it before about other young fighters on here, man, but thank God that we have these young guys carrying the torch and advancing the sport, as it progresses. We've got these great young guys, charismatic, affable, intellectual. These guys are going to be the ambassadors for this sport that we love so much. And, credit to Greg Outlaw. He's one of those guys that we're happy that the sport is in the hands of young fighters like that who are going to represent it well and who are going to do big things and do it, most importantly, with class and character and dignity. So amazing chat, man. Amazing dude. Glad I got a chance to run him down. Hope you guys dug that episode. And now I'll do the promotion thing one more time. Make sure to like and follow Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum, 2 podcasts, 1 channel. If you're into the music thing and the arts thing, check out Pod Scum. And of course, you know how we get down on Off the Couch Boxing, the most amazing and real boxing conversations. We chop it up. We're all over the board with it. And, it's just boxing. We went a lot of places with Greg, acting, here, there, food, this, that, the other thing, free form conversation. That's how we get down. No cookie cutter questions, no interviews like that. We're just chopping it up here. That's all, man. And, that's what keeps us fresh and spicy, man. That's how we do it here. That's how we got to do it. So I'll stand by that. Look at the playlist. We got something for everybody on there. As I always say, legends, luminaries, world champions, fighters on the come up. It's all there on the list. If you like the OGs, if you want to hear from the legends, there's plenty of them on there. Plenty of young up and coming fighters. Anybody that's associated with the sport is welcome on here. I try to run everybody down that I possibly can, no matter where they are in the States, overseas, wherever. We'll go anywhere for great boxing conversations. So make sure to tap in, like, subscribe, obviously hit the notification bell if you're here on the channel. And, of course, tap into the Facebook page. You'll get updates on new episodes, when they're dropping, who will be on them, and any other big boxing news. If it's jumping off in the fight game, I'll put it up there, keep you guys in the loop. If it's big fight announcements, fight results, breakdowns, analysis, predictions, viral videos, someone's getting bitch slapped at a press conference, boom, I'm putting the video up there. Some shit's jumping off at a weigh-in, boom, we're going to have it up there. Any kind of big pertinent boxing news, I'll do my best to get it up there. You will be informed. Tap into the Facebook page and, of course, tap into the YouTube channel. And again, I will remind you guys that we are the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion. I'm still currently a heavyweight of boxing podcasts. By no means am I looking to challenge for the actual heavyweight belt, just podcasting. Please, folks, don't misconstrue that. And the good news is you too can be a champion. Rexx, how can I be a champion? I'm here watching you. How can I do it? It's very simple. Bring your ear nice and close. Get out your notepad. You're not going to have to write down much. The formula is very simple. Just continue to stay tapped in with Off the Couch Boxing, and you will be a champ. Continue to stay tapped in and continue to roll with the champs. Peace.